got a little bit of an update. As you can tell, the RS is nowhere to be found. I took the car in for a service for the power transfer, power takeoff, whatever you want to call it. Basically for the PTU fluid flush and fill. And since in a previous video I mentioned where like there was some difficulty with getting to that, and that I have the RDU fluid, what I wound up doing was just, you know what, let me take it into the dealer, so if anything is hinky, they can help me out with it. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. So what I did was I took some notes so I could stay on track, keep the video as short as possible, since I'm not actually working on anything. As of right now, we are towards the end of May as of the recording of this video. So from what the dealer told me, the new transfer case has been ordered, and the earliest they're looking is Tuesday. So right now, today is May 27th. So you know, my dates are jacked up. So I'm assuming like what, like maybe like June's 8, 9, so like June 1st or so, that the transfer case will be in and start to be swapped out. So the service on the PTU fluid is supposed to be done every 30,000 miles. I got the car at approximately 62,000 miles. So now it's got a little bit under 65,000, like 64 and a half. And when the tech came to get me, he looked pretty, you know, he looked like he felt really bad for me. So just so you know, whenever my car or a vehicle I take to a shop for maybe a short notice, maybe it's a bigger job than I have the equipment to handle, yada, yada, yada. I like to watch the guys work, so if there's an immediate reaction, I see it right off the bat. So it's not hearsay, it's not somebody trying to mess with me, because I have run into that stuff before. And once he was dropping the fluid, now typical thing whenever you're working on any type of gear fluid, transmission, transfer, differential, as that fluid drains, you're looking for any type of damage. Typically, if you get limited to small amounts of shavings, that's natural, that's okay. All that stuff should be caught by the drain plug, by the magnetic tip. But what the tech showed me was literally chunks of metal. It looked like the teeth of the gears had started shearing off. I was kind of in shock, so I did not take pictures of it immediately, but thanks to the internet, I was able to find some pictures, which I will post up right here, that depict what I saw. So I'll show you a what's good and a what's bad. So those chunks not only were pretty large, he took his metal pickup and he waved it around the fluid that he had in a container. And that fluid as well was starting to lift as he waved the magnetic pickup around. So that depicted extremely contaminated fluid for a good amount of time. Combined with how pitch black the fluid was, that shows me that the fluid either A, was never drained and filled throughout the life of the car, or when the car was previously owned, it may have blown at that time, so like heat and additional friction buildup could have contaminated that fluid even faster. So the unit is going to get replaced by Ford. It's going to come with a 2-year unlimited mileage warranty. So if I want to go drifting or whatnot and track mode it as hard as possible. I have 2 years from the time I get the car back to do it to destroy the transfer case. So, but this is really gonna kind of put a damper on my plans. I'm not gonna mention how much it costs to replace it right now, but if anybody is interested in that, definitely drop the question in the comments area, and I got no problem sharing that information then, because I'm literally 2 days right now after finding out and figuring out how I'm gonna pay for this. It's not gonna be fun. So it's definitely gonna put a hamper on the channel, and it's definitely gonna put a hamper on some plans that I had going forward for the rest of the year. Once I get the car back, I'm definitely hoping that this relieves one issue that kind of now makes sense, which is shifting from second gear to third and the higher RPMs, where kind of the lash, which is like that small amount of movement between the meshing of gears, that probably explains why I had such a hard kick from second into third in sport mode and in drift mode, while driving around taking advantage of a couple of straights. I never had a problem driving in normal mode, because at that point the car is probably like 90% front wheel drive, and it only kicks in the rear wheels as needed for traction. Like I mentioned before, looking at how big not even shavings, just how big the pieces of metal were that he had on that metal pickup on the towel that he showed me. This damage had definitely been there since I got the car, which is why not only do I suggest, but really anyone suggests, this is why you change your fluids right away, because if anything comes up, you can definitely get to it right away. I definitely wouldn't have been able to take care of this last year when I got the car, but luckily a couple things have turned around where I still wouldn't want anything like this to happen, but if it had to happen, at least now is a better-ish time for it to happen, where I can actually take some steps to take care of it. One reason why I definitely think that this could have happened is if you guys have seen the dyno video, which I will link below in the description. The car is putting down, at least on the dyno, 380 horsepower and 421 foot-pounds of torque. So when you increase your torque output in any vehicle beyond what the manufacturer set up for, you definitely want to increase the stability of the drive system, whether it be engine mounts, braces, things like that. I do not know if this has a PTU brace, at least an upgraded PTU brace. I know it has a PTU brace from the manufacturer, but that's just stamped steel. I'll put another picture up of that right here. And two companies that I know of, Mountain, which obviously is a popular one, and J9 Performance Parts, which is a UK company, make similar aluminum style braces, which are much beefier, which replace the OEM stamped steel brace. And what that'll do is, since those aftermarket braces have an additional mounting point up at the very top, it will decrease and almost, I would say probably for the most part, eliminate the flexing that you'll get from that extra torque, especially for those who would want to launch their car. Once that torsion or that torque is multiplied to maximize your takeoff, that's where a lot of your flexing is going to come into place. And if if you're not kind of beefed up in that area, that movement that you get in the transfer case, in the drive shaft, is something that can definitely cause problems like this going forward. So that's why whenever you see guys start to add more torque, more horsepower, anything that's gonna cause the engine, the drive line, the drive shaft to move that much more, they start going with solid bushings, aluminum mounts that are much beefier than what the OEMs come with. So I'm gonna leave that one off here. If there's anything more that you guys wanna know as far as this situation goes, maybe to prevent it on your own Ford RS, or any other vehicle for that matter, go ahead, leave some comments down in the description. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. And hopefully this gets resolved as soon as possible. I can't wait to get my car back. I already missed it. It's only been like 2 days. And I'm just hoping that in the future, I can eliminate some of these issues going forward. Hopefully this gave you guys some good information. It helps you out, gives you something to check up on, especially since the RSs are no longer a new vehicle. The last one was released in 2018, so we're about four years removed from the last release of the Ford Focus RS. So make sure you guys are taking care of your babies. If you're tracking them, drift mowing them, whatever it is, do your due diligence to make sure that you're keeping up with the service and maintenance, whether you can do it yourself, you got a friend, or you're taking it into the shop. So I'm gonna sign off on this video, and as always, Wrench Daily.